Now, Terence, the creative, and Millie Chevy. Outside looking in, they look like a very, power couple, power goals. But this was not always the case. Let me give you an insight as to what happened if you're not familiar with it, okay? Is it a few years back, or it's very recent actually, like 2 or 3 years back, Terence was doing the most, and he was moving mad, and he was stepping out of his marriage with one Soina. And this girl, Soina, came out and exposed him, talked about when Millie Chebby would chase him out of the house. If they had an argument, he would sleep over at her house. They were in a full-blown relationship. Millie knew about Soina, and it was a lot of things. Basically, she just put all the tea out there for everyone to consume. And as all of this was going on, after they had already broken up, Terence would reach out. Like in the middle of the scandal, he's being exposed, he would reach out to Soina. Instead of fixing things with his wife, he would reach out to Soina and say, hey, I missed you. Hey, let's talk about this. Hey, let's meet up. Hey, can I come over? You're being exposed for cheating on your wife, and you're still calling your mistress. It was like on a budget, Fitz and Olivia Pope, but yeah, on a budget. I'm not mincing words today. All I'm saying, that happened. And if we're being honest, it was very embarrassing. But unfortunately, I have noticed that collectively we have a culture, we have fostered a culture of shaming the victim, of shaming the person who is being cheated on. I think we even had a conversation, earlier this week where we're saying when somebody cheats on their partner, when a man walks out of the marriage, we are very quick to say, Kwani, this woman is stupid, like she's boo-boo the fool. We are very quick to make fun of her and disgrace her and say, you should have seen this coming, leave him immediately, why are you still here, he doesn't love you. We are very quick to bash her instead of calling out the behavior of the offender. If we were good people, if we were not witches, we would have sat Terence down and said, you know what, you're doing this girl dirty, you're not doing the right thing. Instead, we are very quick to champion the person who's bagging babes left and right. And I think because of this culture, it emboldens people to do the most. Look at Jimal Rohosafi. If Jimal had been called out on his behavior initially with Amira, maybe all of this would not have happened. And she even talks about it and says, listen, when Jimal was doing all of these things to me, his parents could see this, his brothers could see this, his sisters and uncles were seeing all of this. But not even one person thought, let me sit down Jimal and tell him, you're not doing the right thing, you're doing the most. Instead, they were quick to say, Amira, what are you doing in your marriage? What are you not doing for Jimal that's making him step out and do the most? I digress, and I digressed so far. Anyway, back to Terence and Millie Chebby. Hey, now, after all of that happened, they made up together, they fixed the marriage, and now they're talking about how that particular incident cemented the foundation of their marriage. Well, when I tell you, usiingilie mambo ya watu wa duve moja, tafadhali usiingilie. And they go on to say, in reflecting, I understand, but okay, basically Terence is saying even at that time, he thought about leaving Millie because he was causing so much pain and anguish for her. And he wondered, why am I causing all of this? I should just leave her. Yeah? Why am I causing so much pain? Why am I testing this daughter? I should just leave her and go on and get out of her life. However, they decided to fix things. But this is not the story. The story is, and they've not mentioned who, they're now saying, now that they're back together, stronger than ever, couple goals, they're now talking about how a certain industry person and a close friend to Terence, a fellow comedian, was very quick to reach out to Millie and say, Millie, I think you should leave Terence. And she goes on to say, this person kept calling me and texting me and telling me to leave my husband. The clownery, as in the circus that is all of this. Basically, I will say it again. If two married people are fighting, please do not feel the need. And I've talked about these stories a lot. I even told you my personal story where I went in the middle of a marriage and I told this girl the tea and I exposed the husband and I said, Monday kulikuwa na Njoki, Tuesday kulikuwa na Wangari, Thursday kulikuwa na Akinyi. And I gave her tea plus receipts plus pictures, everything. And then the next weekend, I saw wameenda social media, wameenda road trip to work on their marriage. And the hashtag was, they tried to destroy us. Listen, achana na married people. Achana na watu wa duve moja. Have you forgiven your cheating partner and then talked about how your friends did you dirty? Unawambia, ata babe, when we were not together, my friends were saying I should leave you. Imagine, they're so toxic. They're so toxic, Aki babe. Have you been in that situation?
Let me tell you mine. Okay, so I think the easiest way to say it is this. We keep assuming that the wife knows. And I think this was part of the conversation we were having with Turi earlier yesterday, when we were like, you know what? She must know. There's no way this man is cheating on you and doing all of these things to you and you don't know. There is the chances that you actually know that he's doing you dirty are very, very high. But then it always begs the question, how do we know? Where is this certainty coming from? Like, what is the proof that we have that this person, you know, knows? And then you put yourself in a situation where you want to be the hero of the story. So you go and tell your best friend, by the way, your man's is cheating.
I saw him.
I saw him. You have video evidence, photo evidence. Well, at that. Guess what? Doesn't always play out the way you think it will.
True.
So even as you are there being very bold to come and tell people that your man is cheating on you and all of these things, make sure you understand that the repercussions could be they end up doing what they did to Turi, which is you cannot shake our marriage. You cannot interfere. Toxic friends forever will fail.
Wow.
Higher. Or it could be that, okay, fine, she does decide to make a decision, but then you ruin the friendship with your other friend, because there's no way you, your husband and I and, you know, our partners hang out, and like, you could lose a friend, you could lose two friends, or you could end up saving a relationship. Either way, be ready for the consequences.
True.
All I'm saying is, most times, unfortunately, it goes this Millie Chebby way, where she's like, oh, they tried to ruin us. Imagine she was calling me and telling me to leave. Hey, leave it, leave it. Mambo ya wenyewe wachana nayo.
Exactly.
Ask a friend, a pastor, someone to intervene, but don't go in physically on your own.